Alright. Here we go. Alright, there we go. What's up, guys? My name is Talkster, your gentle shadow priest that's gonna help you pull those numbers in patch 5.2. This is a guide for shadow priests, how to do good DPS, basically. And, you know, all the general stuff, the reforging and everything like that, the talents, the enchanting, blah 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 blah. Before that, I have to give you a reason why I'm doing a PvE guide and not a PvP guide. Why is PvE so much better than PvP? Well, in my opinion, this is a perfect example. This guy wants to take me to town, but you know what? Hell no, because I'm Talkster, I'm a shadow priest who do know my shit. And at the end of this video, I hope you will as well. Now, obviously, I have to take him to town. I have to freaking pwn him. And just, I mean, PvP, really? God, so easy. Too easy. God, I feel like a Athena at the moment. Alright, let's start off with the guide here. The single target rotation is quite simple. The core of this is basically to keep your dots up at all time. And doing it while you have popped your Devouring Plague, you do Shadow Ward Insanity, which is the Mind Flay Insanity. And at 3 orbs, you deal 99% more with Mind Flay. Holy shit! That is, believe it or not, awesome. It's like 100% damage increase, only 1% less, obviously. Now, let's put this in slow motion so you actually can see what I'm doing. Now, I precast Mind Blast. Then, I pop my Synapse Springs and a Shadow Fiend. That's basically a macro I will talk about in another video. Then, I cast my dots. I start off with Vampiric Touch and then Shadow Word Pain. And then I do Mind Flay as a filler, waiting for my Mind Blast to come off cooldown. During this time, I just check my dots if they're gonna run out. Now I have to time these dots duration. If it is on 5 seconds, if it is on 6 seconds, it doesn't matter. If the Mind Blast is off cooldown, then I have to pop it. And during this time, while Devouring Plague is up, I can't refresh my dots. They have to be at least 8 seconds. Because at this time, I am going to basically pop my Berserking and Power Infusion, pop my Devouring Plague, and do Mind Flay. And during this time, I want all my dots ticking, and that's why I have to shake your dots, so they cannot run out during this my Devouring Plague rotation. So basically, I came off with 4 Mind Flays just because I'm a troll and I use Berserking. I'm gonna talk more about that in another guide as well. Now, multi-dotting. After you've done the Divine Insight change from Power Infusion, be sure to do it in the fire because it removes. I know, it's stupid, I know why it happens. Same thing here, you precast Mind Blast to do Snap Spring, Shadow Fiend, keep your dots up. Now, I only have Shadow Word Pain on 1 target. This increases my chance of getting a free Mind Blast by 10%. Now, obviously, if you put them on more targets, you're just going to increase that chance. So, for example, if you have it on 4 targets here, as I will do, then I will increase it by 20%. And if you have it on 10 people, if you have it on freaking, I don't know, 20 people, then you have a 100% chance. And everything like that. Yay! Now, basically, you don't dot every single target with Shadow Word Pain. If there's like 100 mobs, let's say that, or like 25, you don't put Shadow Word Pain on every single one of them. You put them on 5 to 8 targets or 10 targets, then Mind Sear, Halo, and that's the AoE rotation basically. Now on a boss fight with ads, this is actually how you do it. You do the same rotation as single target, but keep your Shadow Word Pain on every single target running at all time. That's basically AoE. And then throw in a Halo from there and there when you have time. Now, glyphs. Now, wait just a second, I have to fix this. I mean, so annoying when this happens. Oh wait, what is that? Oh right, it's the same thing as in the trailer. Oh my god. Now the glyphs is basically sustained mobility. Inner Fire gives me 50% more armor. Yay, that's freaking awesome. And my Mind Flay, basically what it does is increases my movement speed and stacks up to 3. Granted, 15% increased movement speed for 5 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. So that is pretty neat. It's basically 45% movement speed on 3 stacks, and in Throne of Thunder, That's gonna be useful. Glyph of Mind Spike is something I don't even use Mind Spike at the moment, so it's basically pointless. So Dispersion or something else would be good. Minor Glyphs, it's what you want. It's just appearance, basically. It's for the lols. Now it reduces the cooldown on Dispersion by 15 seconds, sorry. It's pretty good, because Dispersion is always good if you're gonna soak something, for example. I could also use Fade, which reduces all my damage taken by 10%, which is pretty good. I would say it's more PvP than anything else, but it's still sustained, you know. Cool. And that's basically it. And the minor glyphs are just for show, except this one. Glyph of Vampiric Embrace. It reduces your duration of Vampiric Embrace by 5 seconds, but increases your healing by 50. So, if you want a more bursty Vampiric Embrace, if you actually need this, if healers need this, it's a good thing to use, actually. Now, talents. Alright, talents, Void Tendrils and Siphon and Dominate Mind. Okay, Dominate Mind, just throw that away, seriously. Void Tendrils is pretty good on, for example, Lei Shin in Terrace. You just root those for the water elementals to not hit you. Pretty cool, right? Yeah. Siphon, Will of the Emperor, Fear the Ragers. Awesome. Body and Soul is the second tab. I use Body and Soul because it's, you know, I rather shield myself once and get decent amount of movement speed rather than putting out angelic feathers all over the place, reducing my DPS. Because when I'm, you know, putting these feathers out at all time, I could have spammed Shadow Word Pain instead, you know. If you're, for example, running. Now, From Darkness Comes Light has been reduced by 5%. Hell no! Shadow Word Instant is basically the thing you're gonna use on most boss fights, or basically every single boss fight. If there's a lot of mobility and you have to run around all the time, Mindbender is the way to go. But what I've seen from Throne of Thunder raids, Shadow Insanity is the way to go at the moment. Desperate Prayer, what the hell? I'm not a healer. I don't have to heal myself. That's the healer's job. Good! Yes, I know, I'm selfish like that. I use Angelic Bulwark because it saves my ass so many times, but I don't actually realize it. Twist of Fate is pretty cool. Once, you know, targets is below 20% health, you increase your damage by 15%, which is pretty nice. But I stick to Power Fusion or Divine Insight. Divine Insight on an AoE target or an AoE boss fight, for example, Horadon. Divine Insight gives me more chances to Mind Blast even though it's off cooldown. It refreshes the cooldown basically. And it gives me so much more damage because I can use Shadow Word or Mind Flay, the Shadow Word Insanity one, so much more often. Power Infusion increases my damage by 5% and it also increases my cost speed, which is freaking awesome. And that's why I use that combined with Divine Plague and Mind Flay. And then we have Halo. That's the go-to AoE spell, in my opinion. Alright, gems. Pretty much straightforward here. First off, we start off with meta. Is Burning Primal Diamond, 260 int, 16 int, and 3% increased critical strike. Blue is Purified Imperial Amethyst, 80 int, 160 spirit, or Energized Wild Jade, 160 haste, 160 spirit, if you can reach 10,215 14 haste. Red is Brilliant Primordial Ruby, which is 160 int. Reckless Vermilion Onyx, 80 int, 160 haste, if you can reach 10,214. Now the second choice is basically, what I mean is, if you can reach 10,214, then go for Reckless Vermilion Onyx. Same thing with Energized Wild Jade. Yellow is Quick Sun Radiance, 320 haste, otherwise Reckless Vermilion Onyx, 80 and 160 haste, if you can reach for 10,214 haste. Basically, stack as much haste gems if you can reach 10,214, because that gives you another additional tick of Vampiric Touch. Now, socket bonus. Basically what you do here, you only go for socket bonus if it is above, or if it's around 180. If it is 60, for example, and you're reaching just for intellect, 80 plus 60 is just 140 and not 160, which gives, well, basically the red one is 160, so it's just 20 intellect loss. That's basically it. Now, the enchanting is pretty straightforward as well. And also the meta socket, sorry, is the burning one. It increases your damage and your critical chance. So, increases your intellect and critical chance. Now, the enchanting. Shoulders, Grey Crane Wing Inscription, 200 int, 100 crit. Cloak, Superior Intellect, 180 int. Chest, Glorious Stats, increases your all the stats by 80. Racers, superior intellect, 180 int. Gloves, greater haste, 170 haste. And superior expertise, 170 expertise. Basically, it gives you more. It gives you expertise is basically hit, if you didn't know. Belt, a living steel belt buckle, 1 extra socket, which is awesome. Legs, greater cerulean spell thread, 285 int and 165 crits. Boots, Pandaren steps, movement speed increase and 140 mastery. It's basically the movement speed increase. That's what's important for us there. Main hand Jade Spirit chance increase int by 1,650, and the spirit increased by 750 at 25% mana left. Offhand 165 int, and two-hander is a Jade Spirit. Now the reforging. The reforging is a bit complicated, but we're gonna get through it, no problem. Int is the most important stat, obviously, but let's go on with the haste cap first. If you're hit capped, for example, 15% haste is 15% is hit capped. Haste capped 8,085. Haste goblin 7,584. It gives you 2 ticks of Divine Play, 2 ticks of Shadow Word Pain, and 1 tick out of Vampiric Touch. Now, if you want 2 ticks, which is actually something to aim for in 5.2, you need 10,124 haste, and for goblin it's 9,603 haste. Now, the stat priorities does a lot of things to the reforging. Intellect, for example, is the most superior stat. 15% spell hit is important because you don't want to miss your spells. And then haste 8,085, and then crits. Mastery is so bad. It's bad. Now haste, it stands then haste 10,124. What does this mean? Basically, what it means is, first of all, you want to reach 8,085 because you get those 2 ticks out of Shadow Word Pain and Divine Plague, and 1 tick out of Vampiric Touch. Then you go crit, mastery, blah blah blah. Now the reforging itself, it's pretty straightforward. What is the most least stat for Shadow Priest? It's basically mastery. So you want to remove all the mastery you can. If you are haste capped, then you reforge all the mastery to crit. Now, if you are haste capped though, then yeah, mastery to crit. Now, if you're not haste capped, then obviously mastery to haste, and then also crit to haste, because you really need to reach that 8,085 haste. Now, if, for example, if you know that you can reach 10,124 with reforging everything into haste, jamming everything into haste, and then shot everything into haste, go for that, because that extra trick is pretty cool. Depends, obviously, if you lose, I don't know, maybe thousands and thousands of intellect, then it's obviously not worth it. But if you are really close to the cap and you reforged everything, jumped everything into haste, and you're still not haste cap, let's say you are on 10,123 haste, and you can't possibly do anything else to increase that haste, then it's basically not worth it. Because on 10,124 haste, you get another tick of Vampiric Touch. And that's basically it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. Go ahead and like the video, go ahead and show on my channel, and I'll see you guys next time.